Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is ARYZKA Putri, and I will be presenting about Sedekah Bumi tradition as a planting of gratitude in the village of Tubanan, Kembang, Jepara. The next one is abstract. Sedekah Bumi tradition in Tubanan village is held once a year to symbolize the people's gratitude for God who has provided sustenance through the land or earth and all forms of abundant produce. Some of the things studied in this paper, such as the series of the events that took place at Sedekah Bumi in Tubanan village, to how the community responded to Sedekah Bumi tradition. This research method uses qualitative methods through field research, namely by observing directly by studying intensively about individuals and communities. Through this research produced descriptive data in the form of written and oral. Data analysis is presented qualitatively by describing the overall analysis of the data presented in the descriptive form. Sedekah Bumi tradition, which is held every year, gives people a sense of gratitude for the abundant blessings with the power of God Almighty, preserved in its sustainability and provides value to humans. This research reinforces the view that society and culture are directly related through tradition with the values contained in culture. Next is introduction. The first one here is the provinces in Indonesia. Indonesia is one of many diverse cultures in every region. Culture cannot escape our society. This is because culture is a way of life of actions, thoughts, and plans carried out by all levels of society that are agreed to by mutual decisions. Indonesia has a lot of provinces. One of them is Central Java. Central Java is based on Java Island. Japanese culture is based on two things, namely the theory of religious and mystical life and the ethics of living in upholding the adab and the degree of life. Islam teaches its people to always be grateful for all the pleasures given by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And one tradition that is still popular and still done is Sedekah Bumi. Sedekah Bumi has become a habit for the Japanese people where they carry out the event once a year. Sedekah Bumi is a traditional ceremony to express gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for sustenance in the form of all forms of earth products that have been received, as well as requests for abundant sustenance in the future. In Central Java, there's a city called Jepara, and then in Jepara, it also has a district with the same name, which is Jepara district. And in Jepara district, there's a village called Tubanan. Tubanan village is one of the villages that still maintains and contains the Sedekah Bumi tradition. Here is the Tubanan village. And then next is Tubanan village profile. As you all can see, Tubanan village is located in northern part of Jepara district. And then it has 4 villages, 7 hamlets, 43 neighborhoods, and 1 million hectares of total area. And then the population is about 12,000 residents. And the religion there is almost Muslim. And then they have a vision, it's called Tata Titi Tentrem Kertara Harja Gemah Ripah Lo Jinawi. Next is the definition and history of Sedekah Bumi tradition in Tubanan village. The tradition of Sedekah Bumi that existed in Tubanan village is called Manganan. People in Tubanan village still familiar with Sedekah Bumi traditions that related to animism and dynamism. One example of the continuing tradition is the Manganan tradition. The Manganan tradition was intended for the ancestors as a form of gratitude for the harvest and salvations that had been given to them. The Manganan tradition has been in existence since ancient times, and it stems from Japanese word called mangan, meaning to eat. The background that underlies the Tubanan village community carrying out the Sedekah Bumi activity is namely the culture of respect for ancestors and the Thanksgiving tradition carried out by the local Tubanan village people as a form of gratitude and gratitude to God Almighty for maintaining agricultural land and providing fortune to the community through crops. And then here is Sedekah Bumi as a symbol of the gratitude of Tubanan village. The first one is the execution of Sedekah Bumi. It held for 4 days. It was on Sunday, June 17, and then on Monday, June 18. And then The third one is on Monday, July 25. And then the last one is on Monday, August 1. Next is the perspective of Tubanan village people about Sedekah Bumi tradition. The people of Tubanan village assume that Islam is a religion that is very tolerant of all the goodness that has become a community tradition, so that people do not want to leave what has become an old tradition. Therefore, the people do not abandon the teachings of Islam. Several activities with Islamic nuances are inserted in its implementation. In the implementation of Sedekah Bumi traditions, besides involving the elderly, it also involves children, teenagers, and adults with fellow people in places that are considered historic, and so on. The purpose of Sedekah Bumi culture doesn't fade or be abandoned by the next young generation. Next is Sedekah Bumi tradition in Tubanan village, Kembang district, Jepara Regency. What we have here is the procession of the first step of Sedekah Bumi tradition called Manganan. The first picture on the left is the head village. He was opening the event. And the second one in the middle is the Manganan. And the last one on the right side, it's Hadroh by Forum Anak. Next, here is Tubanan Village Society response to Sedekah Bumi tradition. There are two responses. The first one is from the people who do not participate in Sedekah Bumi tradition. Traditions such as Sedekah Bumi, Sedekah Laut, or various other traditions that exist in society, which are the result of acculturation of various cultures, always cause pros and cons in society. Some Muslim communities consider this is to be devastating behavior because it's not what Islam teaches. And the other response is from the people who participated in Sedekah Bumi tradition. The tradition of Sedekah Bumi is also widely followed by the villagers. Some of them have their own beliefs and responses in interpreting these activities, including the younger generation, can be used as an example for the future and maintain the Sedekah Bumi culture. Besides, this Sedekah Bumi giving is for the village community to work together and to maintain harmony between individuals and groups. The next one is conclusion and suggestion. Sedekah Bumi tradition is held every year in Tubanan village. In Tubanan village, they carry out in 3 weeks, which include Manganan events or eating together at Pundan, and then for events such as art performances and payub and also campur sari, and events at Sekupeng or Tayub. This charity of the earth is a form of gratitude by the community for the abundant blessings of the power of God Almighty and a form of respect to ancestors. Sedekah Bumi tradition is carried out with the aim of keeping the earth fertile, maintaining its sustainability, and providing value to humans. This activity should be introduced to the younger generation in order to maintain the earth culture or Sedekah Bumi, maintain an attitude of cooperation and harmony between individuals and groups. That's all from the presentation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.